Welcome back to the Pistons Jack YouTube channel. On today's episode, we're joined by Bryce Simon of Motor City Hoops to preview the season of Unk, aka Tobias Harris, one of the most underrated Pistons on the roster. This was a heap of fun, so let's get to it. To wrap it up here, the last player I want to talk about is Tobias Harris. Now, I really liked the signing at the time. I thought he was exactly what the team needed, especially after the historically bad season. And it started a little bit shaky, I'm not going to lie. But I think as the season progressed, even the advanced numbers like on-off showed, Tobias was one of the most crucial Pistons to their success. And I thought he was pretty solid in the playoffs as well. That's obviously something that Philly fans have been on his case for before. Maybe some of it's deserved, some of it not, but I thought he was definitely one of the Pistons' better performers in the playoffs. What did you see from Tobias's, I guess it's not his first season in Detroit, but return season to Detroit?
Yeah, this is like where you insert your Tobias Harris, Paul George, Philadelphia 76ers joke, right? Anytime I can get one of those off, I try. First and foremost, whenever Trajan made those moves last offseason, we talked about what were the trends of those signings and those moves. And it was games played and 3-point percentage. And I just want to outline that. Malik Beasley played 82 games, historic 3-point shooting season. Tobias played 73 games and over 30 minutes a night, 35% from three. Tim Hardaway Jr. played 77 games, shot 37% from three on 6 attempts. So those vets came through in the way that Trajan wanted them to when he built out that roster. And I think Tobias was the epitome of that, with the games played, starting every game he played. And then, as you mentioned, ended up being their second leading scorer, playing almost 40 minutes a game in the playoffs. So I think, listen, is he overpaid, Jack? Probably, right? Is anybody else paying him $26 million? No. But is he worth it to Detroit in terms of what they needed, especially last year? Yes. We'll talk about my expectations for this year and maybe what that means in terms of that salary cap number. But I think the veteran guy, the consistency, the availability, it was worth it for a team that needed that stuff.
Definitely. And I thought as well, watching Cade in that 28-game losing streak season, it just felt like there was no other consistent scoring option.
Yeah, sure.
And it was one of the reasons I really wanted them to go after Tobias. I couldn't have predicted what Malik Beasley did, and obviously that season. And I thought he just added, the post game was a bit shaky to start the year, but I thought him just having even that pump fake, one dribble pull up at the elbow, having the option to post him up, hit that turnaround, just having those elements to the offense, I think he brought something that, I think the stats were okay. I think it was 13, 6 or 7 rebounds. I think his rebounding actually was one of the better parts of his games. I want to give him some props for that. But I thought he did everything you could have asked for a veteran at that position. And yes, a bit of an overpay, but when your team's that bad, when you're coming from the lowest of the lows, you're going to have to pay a little bit more. Yeah. And who else are you going to pay anyway? So, moving on, let's talk about Tobias's role for this season. I'm not going to be straight up. I haven't put a lot of thought into Tobias's role other than the fact that he's going to be the starting 4. I can't see it looking any other way. But what do you see for Tobias this upcoming season?
Yeah, I agree. I think the starting 4-man, we talked about how we don't know who the backup 4-man is. So him being the starting 4-man is kind of important. And so my hope, this is not a Tobias hate take or something like that, but my hope is his usage, his minutes and stuff goes down even more though, because if his usage, his points per game are down, that means J.I., Ron, Asar, that means those guys are stepping into bigger roles. And that's what I think is going to be fun for this team if that's what happens. So I actually have his points going down even more this year. But to your point, I think what he can do is he can give it to you in the moments you need. So maybe JI's struggling and you need to run some ISOs to Tobias on the block, or you're missing Cade for a game. So JI takes on the number one option role, and now Tobias needs to play number two option for a random night in February to help you win a game so that you're a top 4 seed. So like those situations, I think is where they really need Tobias. I think they need him in two places offensively. Those situations where they need him to step into a bigger role because guys are missing, and then he's got to knock down corner threes. Like, go stand in the corner, Tobias, and knock down those weak side catch and shoot threes.
Were you able to? I can't even remember looking what his corner three numbers were, but I just remember he missed. Yeah, he missed a lot of key ones, especially in the earlier part of the season before the team hit their stride.
Yeah, I think I had notes on him. Like, man, I wish you. So he ended up at 39%, but it was like one of his percentage of threes of his overall attempts that came from the corner. It was his highest. Almost, it was 45% of his threes were corner threes. That's the highest of his career since 2013, 2014, which is like his third year in the league. So, I mean, that's where he posted up. And that is his career average. It looks like is 39% from the corner. So I think it was just, we are very in Detroit. We know who's in the corner and we know if they're making shots or not. Being put in the corner has been talked about going back many years, but now it's more of a thing like, hey, we need a guy that can knock down that shot because our guy Cade Cunningham's going to create a good look.
No, absolutely. I think like if maybe we talk about improvement, like obviously Tobias at this stage of his career probably is who he is. Was there anything else apart from just knocking down the corner threes? And I know the reduction in role is more of a product and a good thing for the team. It's an improvement from the young guys. But is there any other area, or even maybe on the flip side, maybe is there an area that you think didn't get enough love last season?
Sure.
Because Tobias, even from Pistons fans, I feel like got a bit of a bad rap, particularly when the team would lose. And maybe I'm looking too much into Twitter there, and that's probably not the smartest thing for me to do. But either or, is there an area for improvement or something you think didn't get enough attention?
I mean, I think you brought up the defensive rebounding, which is very important. I always love to look at the defensive rebounding numbers because obviously Jalen Duren is number one on the team, but then Cade Cunningham and Tobias Harris are 2 and 3. When you look solely at defensive rebounding numbers, I mean, they're actually also, whenever you look at overall rebounding, those guys don't hit the offensive boards though. Those guys just crush on the defensive boards. So that with Tobias, maybe the defense in general, Jack, I do think the archetype, like his body, allows him to take on matchups this team needs. Like we talked about, right? He can guard Evan Mobley, so Asar can go guard other guys. He could guard Karl Anthony Towns or whatever they decided to do, him on Mitch Robb, Duren on Towns. However, JB would want to do it. So I think he is important in terms of the archetype of player he is defensively and what that allows the matchups to be around him. So I think that's maybe more important than what he sometimes gets credit for.
No, for sure. And two more things before we wrap this up. I'm assuming you've done some stat predictions for Tobias, so I'll let you get those off. And then I just want to get your brief thoughts on, I think it's September 3rd for you, how you're feeling about the Pistons' upcoming season, record, and where they're going to finish in the East.
Yeah, so people are going to be really mad at me about this, and I promise it's not a upset at Tobias or like think it's going to be bad. It's truly like I just think a reduction in role. Like I think this is actually a positive. I have him down just barely over 10 points and 5 rebounds a game. And again, that's not like I think he's going to stink. I think his percentages are going to be fine. To me, it's just like a lower usage. I say minutes per game, but we'll see in terms of the 4-man stuff with Asar and Ron. I just think he's the guy that's most likely to have a decrease in those numbers compared to anybody else on the roster. So that's why my numbers are down for Tobias.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. And then to wrap it up, how are we feeling about the Pistons? I know there's some Malik Beasley stuff kind of surfacing around. There's some stuff today, but I think we'll act as if he's not on the team for the very moment. September 3rd, where are we at? Are the Pistons, do you have a number of wins in mind, a spot in the East, you can see them finishing around. Where are we
Yeah.
at?
Yeah. So I was trying to pull up. I did another little deep dive on what the average wins at different like positions. Like if you're predicting Detroit to be the fifth team in the East, what does
Yeah.
that mean? Like what does the average fifth seed in the East win? Right. Which it's 47.5 over the last 4 years. I think I have Detroit fifth in the East right now. I have Cleveland and New York number one, number two, the Magic. I'm super high on the Hawks. I like what they've put together there. I understand people who have the Hawks, below Detroit. I'm cool with that. That's a team I'm high on. But I felt pretty confident putting Detroit number 5. And again, based on averages over the last 4 years, that team wins between 47, 48 games. So I guess that would be my win prediction is somewhere right around there, 47 or 48.
Yeah, I have the Pistons fourth, but I think it's a toss-up between them and
Sure.
the Hawks. Like, I get all the arguments for the Hawks, like that impressive offseason. Jalen Johnson's coming back. If
Yeah.
Porzingis can give them like 50 games, that's obviously a game changer for them. So I think fourth or fifth. I do think I don't have the stands in front of me, but if they fell below fifth, I would be slightly disappointed. But yeah, I think 47 wins is right on the money, somewhere between 46 and 48.
So that's really interesting perspective. I think if they finish fifth behind those, what I think the Hawks and Magic are going to be, I don't think there's any like step back in that. If they start falling behind like the Bucks, who is Giannis and Miles Turner, and then not a whole lot else, right? Or the Heat, who are in an interesting spot. The Raptors, who have talent, but it's like a weird collection of talent. Like, I think the only team I could be like, okay, that makes sense, is if the Sixers are healthy and it's like a healthy year of Joel. Paul George has a bounce back year. VJ's really good as a rookie with those other guards. That would be the only other team where I'd be like, okay, I get, hey, they finished sixth, but it's a healthy Philadelphia team. I get it. Like if they end up behind like the Pacers or the Celtics or, some of those other teams, that would start to be a little bit frustrating and disappointing.
Yeah, I forgot about the Raptors.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think of them.
It's hard, Jack. It's such a talented like you rattle Emmanuel Quickly, RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram, Jakob Poeltl, and then all these young guys they've drafted that are interesting as well. But I'm like, none of them are Cade Cunningham, so I'll take the Pistons.
No, I'm with you there. I just completely forgot about them. And I know a lot of those players are all probably overpaid, but when you just look at their talent, you're like, that could be something. So, but I'm with you. Like I said, I'd be disappointed they finished below fifth, but if they finish sixth or seventh and we see some of these strides that were spoken about from Ivy and Ron, then that's still fine. I just, I think it's fine to expect them to be fourth or fifth. I think the Magic, Knicks, and Cavs are the three for me that I'm like, I think that's the top three. Because I think people kind of forget, not yourself, but how injured the Magic were last season. And how good they kind of looked early. So, yeah, we'll see, Bryce. But that's going to do it, my friend. Appreciate you so much joining. I read it off the top, and we're going to have all the links in the description. But please tell everyone where they can find you and all the awesome work you do covering the Pistons and NBA and the draft. Yeah,
thanks. Motor City Hoops on Twitter, on BlueSky. Guys, go check out the Substack, motorcityhoops.substack.com. It's completely free over there. I never plan on making it anything other than free. I have raw notes. I have video breakdowns. I have some other contributors that pop in from time to time and provide content just, again, for free because they want to write about or talk about the Pistons. So just give it a subscribe and check it out. There won't be a lot of content until games start up again. And then the Pistons Pulse podcast, with my guy Omari Sankofa II, Wes Davenport. He's also doing the Pin Down Detroit Bad Boys YouTube channel. Got to give them a shout out. Got to give Koo a shout out. He does great work as well. And then if you want general NBA draft, Game Theory podcast with my guy Sam Vecini.
I love it. Check it all out, guys. Substack's awesome. I recently subscribed up to that. So
appreciate
it. Amongst it, guys. Thank you so much again, Bryce. Excited for this Pistons season. But until next time, as always, go Pistons.